Roger, it feels like in finance they have these ridiculous phrases like bull and bear, and then what I'm hearing at the moment is pivot and pause. What's going on? What does that mean?
Pivot is around what the central banks are going to do, particularly we're talking about the Federal Reserve. And the pivot is, well, the pivot should be that they change direction. They pivot from tightening to loosening.
What does that mean?
Well, basically it means that they were raising rates, and then the pivot is they go from raising rates to cutting rates.
Got it.
But a lot of people...
So that's the pivot.
That's the pivot.
Makes sense.
Although a lot of people would say that the pivot is when they stop raising rates. But to me, that's a pause.
Right.
Because they haven't told us that they're definitely going to cut rates until we know they've done it. But at the moment, people are going, oh, a pivot is when they stop raising rates. That's a pause.
Okay.
And the Federal Reserve could pause for an indefinite period of time until they get conclusive evidence that either inflation has been tamed or inflation might be taking off again. So we don't know if...
So we don't know whether we're in pivot or pause territory?
They don't even know themselves. I mean, they tend to give guidance, and at the last FOMC meeting they did. But if the data gets a lot worse in terms of inflation, they'll carry on hiking. If it gets a lot better, or if things start to really fall apart, they might pivot. But if things sort of don't get any worse, they'll pause and just keep where they are at 5.25%.
So the bottom line is no one actually knows what's going on, but we're all trying to use language that makes it sound like we do know what's going on.
We all want to sound like experts, but actually no one is, including the Federal Reserve themselves.